Jennifer Tilly and Michael Ealy. Give it up. October is National Substance Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. And as we all know, addiction is devastating, not just for those addicted, but for their friends and families as well. It can destroy entire communities. One Army vet didn't want to let that addiction continue to damage his hometown, so he's taking action through the power of CrossFit. And his efforts are now being profiled in a new documentary called Small Town Strong.
Who here has ever overdosed or knows somebody that's overdosed? At some point in your life, you weren't afraid to die. Don't be afraid to live right now.
My name's Dale King, and I'm on a mission. I'm a proud veteran, spent 2 deployments to Iraq, and then came back home to a town I didn't even really recognize. It was ravaged by an opioid epidemic.
You gotta decide if you're gonna be a beast or that decision is yours. Go. Let's get it right now.
This is hillbilly rehab. If you can work hard in the gym, you can work hard anywhere. So we select the hardest workers, and then we teach them how to actually earn a living. They now have an opportunity to reclaim their life.
We have Dale joining us now, along with the director of the film, Chase. Welcome to the show. Meet Jennifer, meet Michael, everybody. So, Dale, I'm going to start with you. You say coming home was a rude awakening, so how so?
Yeah, so born and raised in Portsmouth, Ohio. It's my hometown. I was gone for about 10 years. Served a couple deployments to Iraq.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Kelly. And when I came home, I was almost like transitioning from one war zone to another. While I was gone, you had the entire pill mill opioid crisis kind of happen, and our hometown was ground zero for that. Businesses were gone, people were leaving, there was no real economic renaissance of anything, and it just kind of felt like hope was gone. And as a veteran, like a lot of men and women, I was kind of struggling as well to kind of reintegrate back into society. And a couple of my issues were I had no real new mission in life again. So fortunately, working out and CrossFit is something I learned in the military. And I opened my own gym, and the people that that come to my gym gave me a new mission and a new community to be around.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant idea, too, because exercise is so good for us in that sense of, you know, clarity, mentally, emotionally, physically. But you created a program for recovery, so can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so a good friend of mine at the time, his name's Billy. He was an executive at our area's largest nonprofit addiction treatment center called the Counseling Center. And he had confided to me that, hey, CrossFit's been instrumental in my recovery, and we need to figure out a way to give that to our clients here. So I was like, yeah, man, absolutely, let's figure it out. And so we kind of kickstarted a test program, and I really wanted to distill the best lessons from the military down to help people out that were in recovery. And then also being able to impart lessons like learning how to communicate under stress, learning team building, and more importantly, having self-awareness of the negative talk that goes in your mind when you're going through hard things. And like I said, my gym gave me new purpose in life, and now that program is able to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing you talk, but I feel like Jennifer and Michael, like maybe y'all can speak on this, Chase, too. I feel like a lot of people can use those tools, like that you just explained. A lot of people, that would help a lot of people in life, right?
A lot of times I find when I'm depressed or I feel bad about something, if I just go out for a walk or do a little workout, it really does lift the spirits. So, and I think that's a really great thing to substitute like negative emotions or negative thoughts for something that creates a positivity in your life. And it's a wonderful thing.
Healthy alternative, yeah.
Very, very healthy. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing that you do.
That a lot of us could benefit from. Yeah. Chase, why was it important for you to tell this story specifically?
Well, I also come from a small town, actually outside Fort Worth. So Granbury.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
Small
God.
world.
Okay.
But, left and went to the military, and then came back as a filmmaker. And I knew immediately after meeting Dale that this was a comeback story. These are individual comeback stories, and then the entire town is making a comeback. And that's what got me really excited. And we've all kind of heard, opioids and substance abuse. We know there's a problem. That story is out there, but we wanted to talk about a solution. And that was really the focus of this, and fitness as a tool for recovery was a big part of that. And so we were able to follow people as they went through this path, not only through fitness, not only through the recovery, but then the community building itself, and then eventually, jobs coming in, and you really see this town come back. So there's hope.
The movie details how Dale uses CrossFit to help people overcome addiction. One of them is Andrew, who is joining us now along with his beautiful daughter, Jamie. Everybody say hi. Hi. Meet everybody. It's a big couch today.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So Andrew, if you don't mind, can you share a little about your past?
Sure, Kelly. My whole dream growing up was to become a Marine. I turned 18, joined the Marine Corps, completed boot camp. On boot leave, I got with some friends, started drinking, drugs were introduced. Shortly after, I found myself being kicked out of the Marine Corps. From that, my life just spiraled out of control. Ended up doing heroin within a few years, started becoming homeless, in and out of rehabs, jails, institutions. Stole from my friends, stole from my family, in and out of my daughter's life, both my daughter's lives. Just hated life, just became somebody I didn't want to be anymore.
And how quickly it 180s, right?
180s.
Like your dreams, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I actually overdosed and died at one point, and when they revived me,
What?
I was sad because I knew that I was just gonna have to keep living that life, and I felt absolutely no hope. But after that, it just...
Well, that's incredibly sad. Okay, sorry, I didn't know that part. I was like, wait, what? Yeah. Oh, wow.
But that was also the point that I kind of decided to start reaching out for more help. And from that, it led me to this.
Yeah. So you say that Dale was pretty pivotal, right, in your recovery?
Absolutely.
How so?
Came down to Portsmouth, Ohio for treatment at the counseling center. They started a program with Dale. I was there for about 2 months, and it was a game changer for me. Like having that outlet for my depression, my anxiety, my shame, to build that community with everybody, it changed everything.
And shame, you mentioned, that is powerful for all of us. Wow.
Absolutely.
That can really take things 0 dark 30. Yeah. So Jamie, I have a question for you. I mean, being one of his daughters, like what was it like to finally get your dad back? That had to be a rough ride for you.
Yeah, well, I just remember growing up, it was always different to have him in my life compared to other parental figures of my friends. I would go to playground in elementary school and I'd be like, hey guys, my dad's back in jail, and like the most out-of-pocket thing to expect like a 7-year-old to say on the swing set. So by the time he went to recovery, I despised him. This was after he overdosed, and I refused to talk to him. I refused to see him. I did not want to associate with him in the slightest. And my mother actually made me talk to him because she knew that even though he has made all these poor decisions, that he's actually finally like taking a step in the right direction and doing a good thing for himself. And she was like, I know how you feel, but just take a leap, trust him, like give him the time you need. And like, thank God, because now 4 years sober, doing great.
Wow.
And yeah.
And that's an amazing thing of your mama to do as well, because I'm a parent, and sometimes when you see your kid around something they maybe shouldn't be around, that's a hard step.
Yeah.
So the fact that she noticed that you actually were trying, this was the time that you were actually doing it, that's amazing. What a remarkable heart she has as well. That's awesome. So Dale is a true inspiration, and our friends at CrossFit's headquarters agree. So to help keep his small town strong, they are donating $10,000 to the counseling center where Andrew is covered and Dale teaches